Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors, your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad you're here this morning. Got a great show lined up. Hope you enjoyed the last couple of days of video on the red snapper trip, man. That was a lot of fun, and you can see we caught some nice fish. Just had a great time, and if you didn't get to see it now, if you want some friends to see it, and tell them to go to YouTube, and they can pick it up, put yesterday's date on it, day before date, and just go to YouTube. You can go to Panhandle Outdoors and hit YouTube, and either way, you get it either way, and watch it, and it's some quality red snapper fishing. So I'm glad all of y'all got to see that out there. Now today, folks, on the weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center, we're looking at a high of, it's going to get up in the 90s. I've got 93 here, but it may not get quite that high with the sea breeze. But inland now, it could get 93 and a low at actually a 78. The water temperature is going all the way up to 82 degrees. That's the hottest it's been all year. 82 degrees, and I understand some of the bait fish are showing up, so that's a good sign. River readings, take a look at our river readings. Apalachicola near Bluntstown. On Thursday, June 11th, it's reading 7.4, and it's going to stay that way tonight. But now, Friday afternoon, it's going to start going up, and Friday night, it's going to get up there close to 9. So you got to water's going to be rising up this weekend. The river will be rising. The Choctahatchee at Caryville, ironically, is reading about a 7.4 also, but it's dropping. So the Apalachicola is rising, and the Choctahatchee is dropping out. So whichever one you like to fish, you can just go to whichever. If you like to fall in water, go to Choctahatchee. If you like rising water, go fish down there to Brothers River. Okay? Now, let's take a look at our tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn Funeral Home and Cemetery. We're looking at good tides today. We're looking at a high tide this morning is incoming. It's going to be high at 11:45 and low tonight at 10:15. Good strong tide. It's about a 1.4 now. It's going to taper off some Friday and Saturday, and on into the weekend. But next weekend be strong tides. But during the week next week looks pretty slack tides. Okay. Marine forecast: west southwest at 10 to 15. West southwest at 10 to 15. Make sure anytime you see that southwest wind, usually going to have some strong waves and strong rip currents and all. So always be careful. It's been all in the news lately, and goes without saying, we know how to behave, and if you see a red flag, double red flags, don't get in the water. It sounds like over and over again we all say this, but it just people amaze us, and so if you have any kin folks coming down from Alabama and Georgia, it's your responsibility, to tell them to do not get in the water when those red flags are up. All right, let's take this break, and we'll be right back. Welcome back, and welcome to our friend Lieutenant Stan Kirkland.
Good morning. Good morning. I reckon you're happy to be out of school for a few days.
Well, listen, happy is not the word. What about thrilled? I love teaching, but man, I love to get a little bit of break and all. So
I know you do.
I got to catch up on some fishing and all. So.
And I saw where you, boy, the photos of you, man, you can't do anything but what the word doesn't get out. I saw photos of you with some really nice fish. So,
we've been blessed so far in the early part of summer. We had a good trip, and
good for you.
Yeah, it's been really good.
Yeah, he had. Did you show that photo on there?
I have not showed it yet.
All right, okay.
You're one of the first ones to see it.
Well, I'll tell y'all, he's a good. Winston's a good fisherman. He has a. Was that family that you were with?
That family, yeah,
and he had some pretty. Redfish and speckled trout that they caught last weekend. So
we'll brag on that later. But
yeah,
we did.
Well, you did good.
Yeah,
you did good.
Thank you very much.
Winston, the commission meeting is going on down at Lakeland right now. The meeting actually started yesterday. It'll resume again today. Big discussion about tarpon gear and all, and of course one of the things that is on the discussion is about fishing with breakaway jigs, and I know you've done the tarpon fishing. When you go down there, to Boca Grande, how do y'all fish for tarpon?
It's an amazing story, and we don't have time to really get in details, but it's a breakaway. It's a jig head about that big around, and you know.
Does it fasten to the lower part of the hook?
Yeah, and you get them. They hit right here in the corner of the mouth, and that's how we'll catch them. You got two parties down there. You have the live bait fishermen, and you have they call them a coon pot because of the Cajun from Louisiana came down there.
That's exactly right.
And that's the history of it. But you got two factors that it's almost like a civil war between them. You know, and there's really some ill feelings, but they actually all work together good on the water. But it's really amazing. I know you've got a lot of information on it too. But
well, one of the things that they're talking about is redefining to where redefining the definition for snagging, and we've looked at a number of other states to not allow people to snag them, not allow to snatch them. In other words, you've got to. The idea being that the tarpon's got to be going after some sort of bait or something, and you don't want them snatched outside in the body or outside the head. So this is a big discussion. It's a very heated discussion down in Boca Grande. Nowhere else in Florida do they fish with these hooks with the weight underneath them, and that is at the crux of it is whether to continue allow people to use those breakaway weights underneath the jig, whether they can.
The two I caught that day, and we brought them up to the boat and unhooked them. They had it, they had it in the mouth.
Yeah, good.
So
good. So there's a big discussion. They catch tarpon around here, and a good time to mention that if you are a tarpon fisherman, we encourage you to call our agency. You can get these little kits. For collecting a scale from the tarpon. We use that information. It's like DNA. It's like a fingerprint, and I forget how many, but it numbers in the thousands of these kits that we've had returned to our agency. And a lady named Kathy Tisdale kind of heads up that project down at our FWRI facility down at St. Pete. But it's really amazing. A lot of people get involved in that.
Yeah, and I've been to the workshop and met her and all. It's really fascinating when she talks about the tracking of the tarpon.
Right.
They take that DNA and all and track them. It's really cool.
Yeah, I think Winston and I were at the same meeting, and they were talking about one of these tarpon that was a couple of 100 pounds and had a radio transmitter, and all of a sudden the tarpon leaves Florida and starts going out across the Atlantic, and of course they realized what happened was apparently a large, shark had consumed our research fish and transmitter, and there went out.
And they were tracking it, and they couldn't figure out because they knew the tarpon would go up the part of the Atlantic coast, but they knew it wouldn't go across the Atlantic. And one of the guys said, "Well, listen, that's the same route as the tiger sharks on their migration." They sort of figured it out. Yeah,
they were able to figure it out, and just goes to show that the season can sometimes be cruel. But the other thing they were looking at at the commission meeting too, is to make tarpon and bonefish a release-only fish. Right now you can get kill permits under the present system if you want to kill a tarpon, and I don't know why people want to do that because you don't eat them. I only know of one person who tried to eat tarpon, and that's our friend Mr. Lindsay. He told me that in his younger years, he and I can't even remember who he was with, but they took a slice of tarpon and tried to cook it in a room, and I think they had to change motels as a result of this failed effort at being a chef. But anyway, but the tarpon, though, there's an item on the agenda to make tarpon and bonefish catch and release only. And because Florida is one of the premier destinations in the country for a lot of fisheries, but also to help our standing as a destination for these fish.
Yeah, and it's a world-class destination out of Boca Grande. World-class. All right, let's take this break and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Before we get back with Stan, let's Mother's Day I gave away a lot of good stuff, and now Father's Day is right around the corner. So tomorrow we got a little Father's Day package. Now, if you haven't registered, go ahead and send it in. I'm getting registration weekly. I'm going to show you some of the stuff we're giving away for Father's Day. The Father's Day package, of course, has some nice DOA lures and all, also some wave worms. Okay, that's one item there. And our famous floating pliers put out by Berkeley. That's really nice there.
I got a pair of those.
Aren't they nice?
They're very nice.
They're nice. And how about a Panhandle Outdoors shirt? How about this long sleeve Panhandle Outdoors shirt right here? Okay, brand new shirt. By the way, if y'all are ordering shirts, we're out of some colors already online. We got a few colors left. We're about sold out. But Sunjammers have some of our shirts. If you want to run there and get some for Father's Day. And also in the same package, how about a Shakespeare rod and reel? Now you know that's going to be a nice Father's Day package for somebody. That looks good on it.
It is.
Okay.
Got good action too.
Very nice. Shakespeare rod and reel combo. And that came from Blue Water. So all this is going to be, we're going to draw tomorrow for the Father's Day package from Panhandle Outdoors. It'll be a great day. Got a great weekend coming up. So don't forget to register. Now, Stan, you brought some pictures. This is cool.
Well, one of our guys sent in a couple of photos the other day from one of the areas, and this is a public area. This is an area that was hunted during the spring turkey season, and you know spring turkey hunting is close to my heart.
Yeah.
I have a friend that called me the Black Cat after this season because every time I went with him, we had bad luck. But
I heard some of those stories.
Yeah. Most of that's made up. But one of the things here is this, just to show you, this first photo is just to show you that not all the birds are harvested. This is a gobbler. This is a very mature gobbler. And look at the beard on that bird.
Wow.
That's probably a 12 to 13-inch beard on that bird. That's one of the longest beards I've seen in a long time.
It is.
That bird made it through the season. And actually, I didn't bring it, but there's another photo of this gobbler and another gobbler coming back through the field that afternoon. They actually, wherever they went to, they made their pass back through the field.
That's got to be a smart gobbler too.
Well,
over the years.
they learn.
He's been hunted. You know,
they learn in a hurry. They don't
Wow.
make many mistakes, or if they do, they don't get a beard like that. I promise you. And the other photo is, of course, you know, you wanna know that you've got young birds being produced, and this is a photo showing the camera that they had set up there on this plot, and you can see the little poults. They're actually counted a total of 10 with this hen, and of course this was made last week. I've probably heard of about 5 or 6 different reports of hens with poults in the last week to 10 days.
That's great.
And so that is really great. I was a little concerned when Tropical Storm Andrea came up last week because, you know, when you got little birds, until they're about 4 to 5 weeks old, they can't fly. Mm-hmm. And so they're very vulnerable to predation. They're vulnerable to wind or rain because if they get chilled on the ground, they can die of pneumonia. So it's real critical when they're really small that that we don't get these monsoon rains, or these heavy rains. But anyway, I just brought that to show that they're out there, and that was from one of our public areas. So that's pretty cool.
Okay, I know. Let's see, the time the spring turkey hunt, we just wrapped it up.
Yeah, just finished in April, so we're done there, and no more hunting seasons there. It'll be now. We're in the quota period where people can apply for quota permits. Mm-hmm. The month of June, you apply for your quota permits, and then your other. I hate to call them specialty permits, but your permits for your more specialized hunts, your special opportunity permits, all these come up later. So you just need to watch that. You can either call us or go online, and it's real easy to figure that out and see what you need to do.
You had mentioned about an invasive grass or something. You had mentioned
that. Winston, we've got, up at Deer Point Lake, we've got a plant that is has been found in the last 5 to 6 weeks. We've got a crew that was in there yesterday spraying, and it's not actually in the lake. It's in a small lake, about 3 to 4 acres. There's 2 adjoining small lakes that are separated from Deer Point, but the crew's coming in. These are very tightly regulated herbicides that are used, and now they can't use this pond for putting on their lawn, for sprinkling on their lawn, but they can they've gone in there and they sprayed that, and this is called giant salvinia. It's a native to Brazil. It's a plant that's apparently used by some in the aquarium industry.
Okay.
And
so
this
that's
is
where it came from. Somebody probably dumped
well,
it.
this is the second time in about 4 to 5 years in the same area that we've had. The first was water hyacinth, and we got that stopped, and then now this plant. But this plant has a potential. This plant's already found in Mississippi, Texas. It's in Hawaii. It's to my knowledge, we don't have it in Florida. This is the first place that we've got it. But particularly Deer Point being a drinking water source, you know, that's why we're trying to knock this back before it gets into Deer Point Lake. And so a lot of effort, and people have probably already seen some in the news about that. But hopefully we'll get that stopped.
Well, good deal. All right, let's go ahead and take our final break. We've got a lot more good stuff with Stan, so we'll be right back. Hi, welcome back to our final segment of Panhandle Outdoors. Let's go ahead and take a look at the fish and game forecast today, brought to us by Mark Cowart. Look at our times here. Edgewater Beach Realty, 832-6000. We're looking at this morning, 4:15 to 6:15 a.m., 2-hour block, and then this evening, 4:40 to 6:40. Those 2 blocks right there. And excellent time to go. Also, I want to say congratulations to Brent Remedy over at Blue Water yesterday. He let me know that was his anniversary of his 5th year working for Blue Water. George Duran, that staff down there. Great sponsors, great store. So congratulations, Brent. If y'all see him today, run by and tell him. He didn't think anybody's going to know about it, so we just broadcast it on Panhandle Outdoors. All right, now the next thing you want to talk about was the...
Well, I was going to mention about the commission meeting. Winston is wrapping up today down in Lakeland, and one of the things on the agenda, and it has to do with the banning the importation of live deer into Florida. And right now there's a number of states that ban the importation of live deer. Alabama, Mississippi are 2 states that are right around us that do this. But Florida has some game farms in the state. They're generally, a number of these game farms are opposed to this, but and the reason they're opposed to it or the reason for this rule that the commission is considering is due to the threat of disease being brought into the state. What we're seeing now is, and under the current regulations, no one can transport live deer into Florida. And I don't know about rules in other states, but I know our rules, and that is that no one can transport live deer into Florida unless that deer is from a facility that has been declared disease-free, no chronic wasting disease, some of these other diseases, for at least 5 years. So they got to monitor that deer herd. Well, what we're seeing now in some other states is even with those rules in place, states like Pennsylvania have recently allowed some deer, or recently discovered that chronic wasting disease originated from deer being brought into their state, and the state that those deer came from, and I forget which state it was, had stringent rules as well. But it goes to show you that when you allow these animals to be moved around the country, you run the risk of introducing diseases like CWD, and CWD is 100% fatal. It is a disease that would cost untold millions in Florida. We would have to begin an eradication program, not only where the disease is found, but around that area, and it has severe implications, and that's why the commission is considering this rule. There's some opposition to the rule, mainly from people who are in commercial deer breeding operations. They think it will hinder them. There is a caveat in the rule that would allow zoos to, under certain conditions, zoos can bring in deer for their uses. But so we'll just see how that goes today.
All right, that's very, very important.
All right.
Okay, next thing we're talking about this kayak. A young man got on a kayak out of Pensacola, and they haven't found him.
Yeah,
a lot of us go out in kayaks and all, but he went out in the Gulf.
Yeah, Winston, this is a real tragedy. It's also a mystery. On May the 13th, a FSU student, a senior over at Pensacola, was on a real small kayak. Now, this is a tiny kayak. He went out on a 6-foot kayak into the Gulf. I don't know how far he went, but apparently had a dog on the kayak with him. He had a life jacket. He had a Pelican brand paddle. We know some other stuff that are believed that he had with him. He was supposed to be back that afternoon. He didn't come in at the appointed time. His parents called. A search was initiated. We didn't get the call until that night, the night of the 13th, till late into the night. I think it was 9 or 10 in the evening. We searched all night. Coast Guard searched, Navy, Escambia County Sheriff's Office. But anyway, bottom line is, for the next few days, they searched 5,600 square miles of the Gulf of Mexico, off Pensacola all the way to Okaloosa County, all the way into Alabama. Did not find the young man. We've continued to search. His kayak did come ashore about 2 weeks ago. We found a kayak. I say we, a fisherman, a pompano fisherman, actually found it over in Okaloosa County. They've recovered one, what we believe is his flip-flops. So it's the family, though, has come to, kind of come to grips with this, that there's not going to be a good resolution to this. But
he did have a life jacket, huh?
He had his family indicated that he always wore his life jacket, but so, the bottom line here is, Winston, is, if you go out on kayaks like this, one, wear your life jacket. It's probably not a good idea. I hear people talk about going miles offshore to fish in them, but if the weather gets nasty, thunderstorms and all that, it can, kayaks just not made for that if you go a long way.
And the big thing too, don't go by yourself. Go with a group of people.
If you go with it's always better to go with a group. If you're fishing in a little tidal area, a backwater, or that's one thing. But
And real quick, let's end on a good note. We got about 30 seconds left. There's an eagle. We got an eaglet from Pensacola to.
Yeah, a bald eagle born over at the Northwest Florida Wildlife Sanctuary was that bird was immature bird, a little small bird, just a ball of fluff, transferred to Tennessee. The bird was put in a hacking tower, was fed, and was not allowed to imprint on people, and was released.
That's great. The Tennessee has one of our eagles now.
Yes,
very
that's
good.
Correct.
All right, folks. Thanks, Dan, so much.
Thank you, Winston.
Folks, thank y'all for watching and supporting Panhandle Outdoors. You do something good for somebody today, and God bless.
Thanks for joining us for Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors features hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.